are very happy to be launching step by step the 257 nations agenda, which is the One in Light agenda. It is very important to quickly recap again what the One in Light agenda is about. As earlier stated, it's very important all of the efforts being made globally for Africa. It's very important all the efforts being made globally for parts of Asia, be it parts of the Caribbean, be it parts of the developed world as so called and quoted. But Africa, Asia, and all of those nations do not have the monopoly on poverty, does not have the monopoly on economical stress and economical woes and aches and pains. Every single nation of the 257 world nation, which includes the 55 nations of Africa, which includes the nations of the United Nations, which includes the nations outside of the United Nations, which includes each and every of our nations that forms the 257 nations of the world. Can we change all on planet Earth with a touch or a swipe of a wand? No, we cannot. But we can make a start. We can make a difference. We can make a collective effort, and it is needed today, not yesterday, not tomorrow, today, in this now, in this time, and by us. We cannot wait for a future generation to come and make the changes that we need today within this present generation. It depends on our efforts. It depends on us coming together as a unified force. And it depends on us making the decision and having the will and the willpower to make it happen. Us. I am always very grateful for all that come and say, we would love to help you help Africa. We want to help the poor in Africa. Africa is not poor. Africa needs work done. Africa is not poor. There are very few nations that are poor. We need to have again a look at the infrastructure of the nations and where we went wrong within the nations. And we do not have, as a federation, we do not have an Arc of Nubia, we do not have, as a collective unity, the facilities to do that all, but we do have the will and the facilities to make the change within our direct social communities and districts in support of the national agenda, in support of the nation's government as the people of the respective nation. Yes, it is important that the governments and the heads of states, or the kings and queens, whoever they may be, are responsible for the nation, for the address of the nations, for the requirements of the nations, and whatever that may be for the people of that nation. Just as the parents of the house. But it is equally important for the people of the house, for the children of the nation, for the collective family, for the collective and extended family to equally participate in the change and the needs to see to the running and the functioning of the house and the building of the people within, step by step, as we grow, as we develop, as we change. Therefore, it's very nice, very, very kind, and thank you very much for all of the offers to let us go and save Africa. But whilst you're saving Africa, who's addressing the needs and requirements and support of the collective going to help Africa in each your respective nations whilst you're helping Africa? First, support. First, see to the address of your own needs, of your own nations, and with that, you are then strengthened to help Africa and any other nation of your choosing. The purpose and the structure of One in Light is, we hope, to facilitate that gap, to facilitate that purpose, to facilitate that need, that we are not only helping Africa, but we are also helping each other help ourselves. The One in Light agenda, if I may briefly touch upon it, is very simple. We have 257 beautiful nations in the world of fantastic people. Not all of those nations are at peace. Some are at war. Some are in crisis. Some have extremely dangerous matters of risk, of health and diseases that has many afraid and worried, which is understood. Not all is at peace. Not all is tranquil on earth. No, it's not. At the same time, I think it's now more important than ever for the launch, therefore, of the program that we have worked so long and so hard on to facilitate. The program entails that for each of the nations, we appoint an ambassador and equally an ambassadress, a male and a female, working side by side in their respective portfolio on the agenda. Ladies, it's time for you to stand up and take your seat. A very important part of the agenda is being placed in your care as the mothers of the nations. For each of the nation, we are appointing, as we said, an ambassador and an ambassadress. I will explain on the latter first. The ambassador's responsibility is for the internal programs within the country. When we say the internal programs within the country, the breakdown is one national Arc Crown chapter for the nation itself and an Arc Royal chapter for each respective region of and within that nation and the respective districts. The Arc chapters have been facilitated within the Arc of Nubia that has been established in 2009 for the purpose of humanitarian work support and agenda. You have similarly for Facebook, where you have, I think, millions and millions of groups and many groups which I have been adding that I have not a clue about. We have used our possibility and our options within the Arc of Nubia, instead of forming groups, to form and facilitate for each nation the Arc chapter, where the people can come together and have the same population possibility as you have on social networks. Within and under each of the national crown chapter, therefore, we have formed royal chapters for every state and internal districts and internal regions, which will be put under the care of the national chapters and under the leadership of districts and regional and state charge d'affaires, deputy charge d'affaires, and people from the area. We are not looking for all the professors, although they're all welcome. We're looking for the everyday people with good old common sense that sees what is needed, that wish to support their area, wish to support their district, but do not have the opportunity open, but have the willingness, but have the heart, have the ideas, and have worked with the community before and now would wish to do it structurally as well within this agenda to support each your district. Within that, the decision and the work of the ambassadress and the charge d'affaires within each of the districts are very important. It may be they may come together and decide, in this district we need to support the expansion of a school. We may need to see to a hospital. We may need to see and find ways to use the funds that is being generated by the agenda to facilitate means of employment, to facilitate expansion of farming, if perchance and per se you are in a farming district, and not to go off track on that, but a very important part of the agenda and the program requirement is that farming for the youth be an integral part of the agenda, regardless if you're in the middle of the city, that at least each summer there's a camp where the youths can go to and learn these skills. It is important. Equally as seed banks for the storing of these seeds from the farmlands, and all of these necessary skills to be learned is to be implemented. It is an important part of the program and agenda, and I would encourage all to go read more on the program. My purpose tonight is not to explain the program, because we have facilitated with that information on our sites and on the net. It is more to address the purpose, the planning, and the leadership that with immediate effect we are now starting with screening. Therefore, the ambassadress' responsibility is working with the people of the region to see where help is needed and what we can do to implement that help. The ambassadors equally have a very important portfolio, which is equally the infrastructure and the structural support of that agenda, as well as the youth agenda, and facilitating what is needed in order that we have our annual plan from 2016-27 royal tournaments within Africa, and with that at present nominated is the Bonduku Kingdom region for that program annually. It means the facilitation of the events within each nation's districts to state to national, between and with all of the chapters, as well as developing what is needed in those areas to facilitate the agenda and the support of the agenda itself as a collective unity working side by side. It is important. It is important that the youths equally have the chance and the opportunity to participate on this, and they can. Within the agenda, we do not have just the art chapters that we're expanding on, but for each chapter we have created and we are creating and expanding special shopping centers to facilitate the agenda financial aspects ourselves. Not loans, not donations, though it's welcome, no thank you. We want to set the example of the community coming together to generate our own income to facilitate the humanitarian needs of the people as a collective by the people. And we can do it. We just need the willpower. And I think we have. The youths are the leaders of tomorrow. Within that shopping program, we need designers, we need IT skills, and we need the participation of the youths in your district in order to facilitate the collections within a lot of these items that we may grow. Equally as we need the local people, be it Auntie Jean, who is a good seamstress and sewing beautiful clothes. She has the opportunity to have her goods on and within that shopping center that is therefore not only marketed, but it can be seen and visited by the other chapters and the other chapters leadership and the people within all 257 nations. One, they click on the links and go there. We are facilitating within the chapters this our AKF TV, that the people locally can have their programs aired. We are doing our best to have the IT team have certain sections within the shopping center where, as I said, local traders can display their goods. Equally, local events. Equally, whatever is needed within the rules and regulations of the country, within the rules and regulations, and within the willing and wanting and needs of the people of that region, as best possible to help with the humanitarian development of the region. We have at the moment the crisis in Sierra Leone, Guinea, and Liberia. I've heard many of the reasons of the aches and the pains and the why that it is. I rather focus on what can we do from the outside and from inside of Africa to help facilitate as best we can the NGOs and the security people and whoever that it may be, facilitate the needs to prevent the spread of Ebola and to protect the borders. Therefore, the program will equally be implemented in Liberia, it will equally be implemented in Sierra Leone, and it will equally be implemented in Guinea. Because it is online and because the chapters as well is online, it is a unique opportunity to be able to facilitate the support within these countries and expand on it even in the middle of a crisis by anyone there that can get online and by all outside who are willing and able to support these regions. It is one of the reasons I have pushed for this broadcast this evening, because though we had planned to launch all 257 countries at the same time, due to the crisis that is happening within Africa and due to the crises outside of Africa within regions that have been torn by strife and wars, we are launching step by step much earlier and with immediate effect, calling for the screening of people who are interested in standing as the national ambassadors, the national ambassadresses, and the Arc Royal Chapter Regional Charge d'Affaires, Deputy Charge d'Affaires, Assistants, and whatever they may be. Do go and have a look at the information. Do go and read up on the chapters. Do visit us in the Arc of Nubia. We are very small but well intended, and we do hope to make a difference. The Arc community is a very small community but with a very big purpose, and we can achieve it regardless of nationality. I really do not make a difference in the nations, the national borders, the gender, religious orientation, political affiliation. We are royal houses, we are royal kingdom with a humanitarian agenda, so the focus is the human in humanity. I thank you so much for your attention. I thank you so much for your time. I thank all on the Arc of Nubia that has been working so hard to see that we facilitate the remaining chapters that we are still busy expanding upon, and the remaining shops. I call on IT people because we desperately do need a few more of these IT experts to make the chapters heading that has the options to go into the different doorways and nooks and crannies thereof, to have some very exciting things for each of the chapters within each of these respective countries. I call on all the things that they may be able to make a difference, who can do media, who can do broadcasting. We do it together. It is very easy to say, I will put in the program as Federation head, I'm going to put in the complete structure, I'm going to put this, I'm going to put this, I'm going to put that, but then it would not be a program of the collective community, it will be a program of me. This program must be of the collective community, because one day I may be here, the next day I may not be. The program must have continuity, therefore it must have the participation of all of the people. It must have the participation of the youth, and it must have the input of the all, so it becomes something that is of the collective unity and the collective all. To all of our art community, all of our Arcadians, to all interested, do go to www.african-kingdoms-federation.com if you wish to sign up, if you wish to participate, and if you wish to know more. I thank all on my FB pages that has been so wonderful with us. I also thank WCH for the work that they are doing and the expansion of this program. And to all in Africa, one in light, this is your program and your gift to the world. Regardless of the trials and tribulation in Africa, Africa is in rising. Thank you so much. One in light.